about Steam Deck, which came out on February the 25th, 2022. But I got mine a few months late, but it's okay. Has now been released for about a year, and I love it. So I've had the Steam Deck for about 6 months, I want to say, and as a computer slash gaming handheld goes, it's been really good. But saying that, there are some drawbacks or some negatives. It's not a lot, but it's still there. I bought the $649 one, which comes with the most storage and the fastest SSD. I'm not saying that to flex or anything, I just wanted all the storage. But Steam, if you're watching, please send me Steam Deck too, please, thank you. But I think it was worth it. Being able to almost play anything from the Steam store, like Garfield kart racing on the go, it's literally the best thing ever. But actually being able to play some of my favorite games, like laying down on my bed without even having to get up, is literally one of the best experiences I've ever enjoyed. But of course, some of the games aren't playable on the Steam Deck, and when you go on the store, it will tell you before you buy the game, it's gonna have these icons. I'll show them up on the screen right now. But with the majority of Steam games and others getting supported, it's really not that bad. But the Steam Deck isn't only just for gaming. The Steam Deck also has a desktop mode, which basically means a computer. Go on the internet, look up stuff, download stuff. Basically, it can do whatever a computer could do. You can still run games in this mode, but it won't run as good as it does in the game mode. But since this is the Steam Deck, it uses the Steam OS, or in the case of the desktop mode, Linux. But Linux has gotten way more approachable over the years, so you might have to get used to it, but after some time, it won't be that hard. Overall, I'm happy with the Steam Deck. The stuff that it does really good. And then for the stuff that it usually doesn't do, it actually does really great. But nothing's perfect, right? The Steam Deck, I wouldn't call them flaws. I mean, I guess you can, but there are some issues with it. One of the problems I had with the Steam Deck was that it just doesn't have enough storage. Well, not enough, but it just doesn't have a lot. The highest storage capacity you can get for the Steam Deck is 512 gigs. I mean, it's still a fair amount, but for today, games are getting bigger and bigger. And sometimes it may even take about 100 gigs. But to solve this issue, there is an SD card on the bottom of the console. So this quote-unquote problem is fixable at some degree, but at the same time, I did wish that the Steam Deck did come with a little bit more storage. But the next problem is the battery. The battery can last from 2 to 8 hours. If you're running a low-tier game or just browsing the internet on the desktop mode, the battery should be plenty. But if you're using a demanding game, something that's come out in the recent years, the battery life could be as little as 2 hours. So if you're doing a lot of heavy gaming on the Steam Deck, you might have to be charging it a lot. But just like the storage problem, you can also say there's a solution for this, just having a battery bank. I mean, it is a solution, but at the same time, you're spending more money. So, and for the last two things I have to say, for the quote-unquote problems, these aren't really problems, these are just nitpicks for me. One of my nitpicks is the thumb grips on the joysticks of the Steam Deck. I mean, at first, they felt really nice because they had the grip and stuff, but over time, they've gotten smooth to the point where sometimes I just have to hold on so my thumbs don't slip. But at the same time, this just might be a me issue, since it's a nitpick, and because I do really do a lot of gaming on the Steam Deck. But for the most part, I usually just connect the PS4 controller or PS5 controller since I'm more used to those, or just use the keyboard and mouse. But I do wish the sound sticks were built a little bit better since it's connected to the console and stuff. My second nitpick is I don't know what you're supposed to call them. I guess the back buttons or something. They're just there. But for real, I barely use these at all. I forget they're even there. But for the most part, they really don't go in the way of things, I guess. I mean, sometimes they do because most games, they're not mapped to anything like that, so it's up to you to map the buttons. But some games, they do have them mapped. It's kind of confusing, but in my opinion at least, they're just really useless. The Steam Deck has been out for a year, releasing on February the 25th, 2022, selling over 1 million units and being sold out. I really love the Steam Deck.